Hi, I'm Josh Willemans with Dangerous Hair Dye Dog Blog Spot. This is me now in 2016. Several years ago in 2009, I dyed my hair I didn't really want to. That was the original bottle. My sister sort of cajoled me into having my hair dyed, and so I did with the help of another friend. And I started to burn. Took a shower and tried to get the stuff off, but I started leaching from the head this yellow substance. It happened very quickly and it was very painful. It was sizzling. It was that bad. A couple of days later, it got really, really serious and my head started to blow up like a balloon. I was in so much pain, I was rushed to the hospital. I got dizzy, I could barely breathe, and they put me on 7 days of antibiotics. My skin kept peeling off and I kept oozing this yellowish liquid from my head, and then I went into what they call toxic shock. So they brought me to the Abbotsford burn unit, where one of the head doctors said it's the worst case he's ever seen of hair dye burn, to the point where he said these are first degree burns. The skin was peeling off like crazy. I'd used everything, hydrogen peroxide. I still to this day use stanhexidine soap and lotion to keep bacteria off, because I contracted in the hospital MRSA, which is another horrendous story. I used all kinds of cortisone creams. I used everything from polysporin and whatever I had available. But a friend did something, oh, and Flamazine, man, that stuff's really expensive. A friend of mine put me onto something that probably helped the most. And it was a kind of cream that I put on around this time because I was in so much pain. And I mean, if you've ever had a little burn, you'll know what it's like. I used stuff called Emperzone from a company named Manitech, and Firm, which is a bit milder. And I started applying that, and it really relieved a lot of my pain. I even have it available on this site. It's important to sort of think about when you're in a hospital. If you've got a really bad burn, do not let the doctors or nurses touch you without gloves, and that they come to you and change their gloves. Getting MRSA was almost as bad as having that burn when you're dealing with long-term problems. I mean, at the time, the actual dye was starting to come out into my skin and through my skin and my back and all kinds of places in my body. Look at the amazing job that that cream did. I mean, I knew that I was healing, but I also knew that something was assisting in that process. And by June 8th, things were coming back. I mean, look at the difference between then and when I first had the poisoning of the PPD in my skin from the dye. Now, things started to change by the time June came around. I was still suffering, but not as bad. But I started getting other things were coming in. At the time, I didn't know I had MRSA, so I thought it was because of the dye and the PPD that was in the dye. I had a lot of skin problems. Black ink was coming out from my pores, as well as my skin started to separate, as you can see here. Things were happening with my hands and in my ears and in the upper part of my scalp. And then I started to get little bumps everywhere. I was getting sebaceous cysts. I started getting boils and pimples. Here you can still see some of the skin. I was getting all kinds of rashes that had sort of zit kind of material coming out of it, and it became quite a problem. Now, all the way to from May, June into a year later, I was continually suffering with things like blood blistering like this, and still skin irritations, but I started getting boils. And I thought that these boils and these skin irritations were from the PPDs, but it was actually from the MRSA that I found out later. Like, I could, if I wore my glasses and there was a lot of heat or I was sweating, I would get boils. I would get every kind of pus from pure liquid to small little cysts or pimple-like things were on my body, and they're to this day still really painful, and I get them all the time because it from the dye problem, contracting a sensitivity to my skin. This is even a year later, and to this day now, it's 2016. If I'm not careful, and I use stanhexidine a lot because what it does is it keeps things from spreading, I have to watch myself. I mean, it's March the 15th as I made this little project, the Ides of March. And I hope you enjoy the video. Visit me at dangeroushairdye.blogspot.com and leave a comment. Yeah, enjoy, and thanks for watching.